All right, so I've got my essay ready and I've got some colored highlighters. So I'm going to read through the first paragraph here and just identify some of the aspects of the first paragraph. A dog is man's best friend. That common saying may contain some truth, but dogs are not the only animal friend whose companionship people enjoy. For many, a cat is their friend, best friend. Despite what dog lovers may believe, cats make excellent house pets, as they are good companions, they are civilized members of the household, and they are easy to care for. So the first thing is our hook. A dog is man's best friend. That is going to hook us in. And then we have some background information. So I'm just going to write here hook, and then some background information. And then, so the background information continues. Companionship people enjoy. For many people, a cat is their best friend. So then in bold, we have our thesis statement. Despite what dog lovers may believe, cats make excellent house pets, as they are good companions, they are civilized members of the household, and they are easy to care for. Okay, so here I have my claim. Cats make excellent house pets. So this is the topic of the essay, and this is what I'm going to prove or argue. And you can see here that I have three points that I'm going to argue. So I'm actually going to get out 3 different colored highlighters here. Actually, maybe a little more contrast. So red and blue and purple. Okay, so I have 3 different points. So they're good house pets because, point number 1, they are good companions. Okay? Point number 2, they are civilized members of the household. And point number 3, they are easy to care for. So my thesis statement has my claim plus my 3 points of exploration to prove my claim. So that's number 1, number 2, and number 3. So since I've got these 3 topics in my thesis statement, generally this is my guide for how the essay is going to read. So good companions should be the topic of body paragraph number 1. So let's have a look. Body paragraph number 1. In the first place, people enjoy the companionship of cats. Perfect. Yes, it is that. Now, when I look at a paragraph, we always want to have introduction or topic sentence. We want to have our body, and then we want to have our concluding sentences. So in this paragraph, the first thing I'm going to do is check to see, is this whole paragraph about the companionship of cats? Let's look to the bottom concluding paragraph or sentence, and it says cats make good friends. Yeah, that's about their companionship. Cats make good friends. So I can see now I have claim number 1, and my first paragraph is definitely about how they are good companions. Now, paragraph number 2 is that they are should be that they are civilized members of the household, because that's my second point. So let's have a look here. Cats are civilized members of the household. Yes, excellent. So point number 2, cats are civilized members of the household. So then I always check now, is this whole paragraph about this topic? So I'm going to go now down to the concluding sentence of this paragraph. Cats are very well behaved. Yeah, that's right. That's just a different way of saying how they are civilized members of the household. Cool. So I've got point number 2 in my thesis statement, and then I've got point number 2 in this second body paragraph. Now, the third body paragraph should be about how cats are easy to care for. So let's grab the purple and let's have a look at the third body paragraph. Lastly, one of the most attractive features of cats as house pets is their ease of care. Perfect. Easy to care for. Ease of care. And now if I go to the concluding sentence here, oh yeah, perfect. Easy, easy. Easy to care for. So now, if I go to my concluding paragraph, I should have my thesis statement restated in different words. So I have my claim, but then I also have to make sure that all 3 of my points are in the concluding paragraph thesis statement too. So here I have a sentence that says, cats are low maintenance, civilized companions. Okay, so here we go. They are easy to care for, low maintenance. Boom, perfect. Civilized, okay, civilized members of the household. Yep, civilized companions. Oh, and companion, that's my other point, right? So here it is, they are good companions. That's my point number 1. So there we go, companions. So I have all 3, so this must be, yes, this is the thesis statement restated in the in the concluding paragraph. Then I have some more background information. People who have small living quarters or less time for pet care should appreciate these characteristics of cats. However, many people who have plenty of space and time still opt to have a cat because they love the cat personality. In many ways, cats are the ideal house pet. This is a really strong final sentence. Cats are the ideal house pet. So it's really confirming that I was able to really prove my point. Cats are the ideal house pet. So I'm going to go up here. I have my claim, cats make excellent house pets. So I'm going to grab my green highlighter again, and I'm going to just go back down here because basically I'm saying after exploring all of this information, I know that cats are the ideal house pet. So what I'm going to do now is dig into the individual paragraphs. So we know that a good paragraph has the introductory sentence or topic sentence, some body sentences, and conclusion. So essentially, we want to always make sure that we have our P-E-E-L paragraphs. So P is point, E is evidence, E is explanation or explain, and L is link to thesis. Thesis. Alrighty, so let's have a look at this first paragraph. I'm going to try and look for that P-E-E-L here. So we know that my topic sentence is how people enjoy the companionship of cats. So now I should have some evidence to support this point. So my point is that cats are good companions. So I'm going to look for some evidence now for that. And I'm going to choose a different color highlighter that is going to be my points here. So I've got a bright pink one. Companions, they are affectionate. Okay, so this is one piece of evidence. They will snuggle up and ask to be petted or scratched under the chin. This explains how they are affectionate. So I'm going to say that this is my EE. So I've got my point here. Grab my pen here. So I've got my point, my evidence, and then my explanation is right here. Who can resist a purring cat? Oh, that's a nice little sentiment to add. Okay, so now I have another piece of evidence. If they're not feeling affectionate, cats are generally quite playful. Okay, so here's another piece of evidence why they're good companions. So they're playful. Now I need to explain how they're playful. They love to chase balls and feathers or just about anything dangling from a string. Well, that's a pretty good explanation about how they're playful. They especially enjoy playing when their owners are participating. All right, even more explanation about how they're playful. Okay, so that's my evidence and explanation. So evidence, and then explaining that piece of evidence of how they're playful. Now, I should have a third reason of why they're good companions. So let's see. Contrary to popular opinion, cats can be trained. Oh, okay, that makes them companionable, I bet. So cats can be trained. There's my evidence. Now, I need to explain how that makes them good companions, right? Using rewards and punishments, just like with the dog, a cat can be trained to avoid unwanted behavior or perform tricks. Cats will even fetch. Sweet. Okay, so there's some good explanation about how they can be trained. Explanation. So I'm going to using rewards and punishments. So these are all explaining how cats can be trained. Cats will even fetch. Okay, so wow, I have one super solid piece of evidence here, a second super solid piece of evidence here, and then a third piece of evidence here with them fully explained. So really, I've given some terrific evidence about my argument that people enjoy the companionship of cats. I've got 3 solid points, and I've explained those points. This is an excellent paragraph. Okay, let's have a look at the second body paragraph. So in the second place, cats are civilized members of the household. So I'm gonna look now for evidence. So the point is that they are civilized members of the household. The evidence is that unlike dogs, cats do not bark or make other loud noises. Well, that's pretty civilized because they're quiet, right? So that's going to be my evidence. And then to explain that, I have the fact that they don't meow very often. So there's my explanation. And then they generally lead a quiet existence. Explanation. So I'm going to do this a little bit differently. Instead of highlighting in this paragraph, I'm just going to mark my evidence, explanation, and this is a pretty solid point number 1. Evidence number 1 to support this point, right? So then I'm going to look for a second piece of evidence. Why they're civilized. Okay, yes, they don't often have accidents. Mother cats train their kittens to use the litter box. Okay, yeah, right. That makes them pretty civilized, right? They're not going to the bathroom all over the place. So civilized members don't have accidents. So this is my evidence. And to explain that, I know now that mother cats train their kittens to use the litter box. And most cats will use it without fail from that time on. Even stray cats usually understand the concept when shown the box and will use it regularly. Okay, so this is some pretty good explanation of how they don't have accidents. So explanation, litter box, and then they're going to use it without fail. I'm explaining those accidents, even stray cats. Okay, so nice, lots of good evidence and explanation. So my second piece of evidence for how cats are civilized members of the household is they don't have accidents. And this is really nicely explained. So this is going to be my second piece of evidence. Now, the third reason why they're civilized members of the household is that, oh, this is kind of different. Okay, so cats have claws, right. Owners must make provision for this. A tall scratching post in a favorite cat area of the house will keep the cat content to leave the furniture alone. Oh, perfect. So the cat's not going to scratch up the furniture. Well, that seems very civilized, right? So let's see. The point there is that the cat is going to leave the furniture alone. So that is my evidence. And then explaining how the cat's leaving the furniture alone is, well, they have claws, first of all, but usually they're up for using a scratching post. So that's terrific. So there is my third piece of evidence to support my point that cats are civilized members of the household. As a last resort, of course, cats can be declawed. And actually, this is no longer true. In our province now, cats cannot be declawed anymore. Alrighty, so our third body paragraph is all about, or should be all about, how they are easy to care for. Okay, now I've got my point. They're easy to care for. Now I want to look for my evidence. Cats do not have to be walked. Okay, that's pretty good evidence, how they're easy to care for. They get plenty of exercise in the house, right? So now I'm explaining how they don't have to be walked. They get plenty of exercise in the house as they play, and they do their business in the litter box. Cleaning a litter box is a quick, painless procedure. Okay, so this is a good explanation of how they don't need to be walked, right? They do their business in the litter box. So evidence, explanation, explanation. And this is pretty solid evidence number one for how they are easy to care for. Cleaning a litter box is a quick, painless procedure. Oh yeah, we already said that. Cats also take care of their own grooming. Whoa, that's some cool evidence of how they're easy to care for. So evidence, they take care of their own grooming. Bathing a cat is almost never necessary because under ordinary circumstances, cats clean themselves. Well, that's a nice way to explain how they take care of their own grooming. Cats are more particular about personal cleanliness than people are. More explanation about how they take care of their own grooming. So here is our evidence number 2 of how cats are easy to care for. Evidence number 3, in addition, cats can be left home alone for a few hours without fear. Oh, well, that's kind of easy. So our evidence is they can be left home alone. Now to explain that, it goes on to say, unlike some pets, most cats will not destroy the furnishings when left alone. They are content to go about their usual activities until their owners return. So this is some good explanation and explanation for my evidence number 3. So then if I go back up here and look at my point, evidence, explanation linked to thesis. So really, in every body paragraph, I have my point, evidence, explanation, and then my link to the thesis. Super straightforward, and see how everything kind of connects. Point, evidence, explanation, evidence, explanation 2, evidence, explanation 3, link back to the thesis. Point, evidence, explanation 1, evidence, explanation 2, evidence, explanation 3, and link back to my thesis. And then we wrap it all up at the end by restating the thesis in different words and restating our claim and our topic that we have proven in our essay.